What if I told you you don't need a Stargate, you don't need a spaceship, you don't need a DeLorean, you don't need anything fancy to go travel into the future? All it takes is you to sneeze and boom, it's 20 years in the future. Well, I've got the film for you. We are going to be looking at Escape from the 21st Century. But before we get into it, you know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant podcast.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I'm your wonderful host, Mr. Rant, and we are going to be looking into Escape from the 21st Century. This fantastic, vibrant Chinese film, which I would like to say a big shout out to Letterboxd for sending me an invite to go see this and a screening in my local town in Melbourne for the fantastic film festival which is about to start. And I didn't look at the trailer. I just saw the poster and read the synopsis, and already I was like, I'm in. So, just sound this time travel, sci-fi, weird and wonderful. I was 100% in. And after going to see this film, holy shit. I have to get up to director Li Yang. This is a movie that is sprinkled in with some Doctor Strange, Everything Everywhere at Once, anime, video game references, put that into a giant bowl and boom, and just sprinkle on a deep message about life. No joke. So basically the plot is it's 1999 and three kids try to defend a little girl's honor called Li Yang, which unfortunately doesn't go very right. They get beaten up and they get pushed off a cliff. Well, one of them does. The two go try and save their friend. And they jump into the ocean, which has all these chemicals in it. And when they come out and when they sneeze, boom, they're taken right to 20 years in the future, 2019, where they're right into their future self. And they're at different stages of their lives. But at the same time, like, it's just visually just weird and wonderful how it jumps into the future and this story. What you think is just going to be about three kids just dealing with kids' antics, how's this all going to end up, and it's just wild on how it all ends up. Because you're just watching it, and as you see, because as a kid, as a grown up, you want to do this, you want to do that. We're gonna be friends forever. What happens if none of that turns out? Not to mention, what happens about that one relationship? Oh, that one couple in high school that they're gonna be together forever. They're gonna love each other. And then what happens when you get to the future and you realize they're actually not together, but one of your friends is because you're nicer? And it turns into a wild story. So in the sense, the fact that they're trying to figure out what's happened in the future, what's broken up their friendship, what's broken up with their love interest, at the same time, they had to figure out how can they save their future selves and their past selves and the future with the fact what's going on with this chemical that can take them from the future back and forward. And it's as I said, we've got Street Fighter references, we've got anime references, we've got Dragon Ball Z references in this. It's just weird and just jam packed, and above all that, there's a lot of comedy moments in it as well. And when I was just watching it, I just thought, fuck it, like, as weird as it gets, as bonkers as this movie is, and how it can get to a couple of points where you're just like, hang on, where are they, what's happening with here? Which sometimes can happen with time travel movies. If you've watched Tenet, you know exactly what I mean. But it does a fantastic way of bringing you right back to go, okay, you're here. Here's a reminder. Let's keep moving forward. This is what's going to happen with the kids. This is where we're at. So even when it does the back and forth, it still makes sure the fact you stay close. But it is one of those movies where not as much as you need to watch, for example, like Tenet, you do need to stay, or probably more so Inception. Like, you do need to watch this. It's not a movie you can just drift off and come back, because you'll be going, what the fuck just happened? And why are they there? And why are they killing each other? And why the fact is that he's really beefed up and we got a montage scene. So yes, they also do break the fourth wall a couple of times, which is fantastic. And trust me when I say, if you're in sci-fi, you're in a time travel, like, this is that type of movie. And the director Lee does this great job of how out there can you go with a story, and visually CGI is all fantastic. But when you strip away everything of that, all the wow of the movie, the whole story at the very basic is what happens when, your dreams don't come true of what you thought you would be like a grown up. And what do if you had the opportunity to see yourself in the future and how you turned out, how do you go back? What would you tell your younger self to don't do this or do this? Work out or, don't eat this or say sorry to this person so you still have your relationship. That's the deep underlying message from this movie that I got right at the end. And just watching it going, how crazy it can get, but the fact you pull it right back, this is what you can get. This is a movie that you should sit down and you should watch on a Saturday night, Friday night flick. If you got the opportunity to go see this at the theaters, hell, I don't think it will be if it's in IMAX. Go see this in IMAX because this is eye-popping. But it's one of those movies that it doesn't matter how wild it gets, you've got a great message at the end and it can really make you think. And when I got home, it's probably one of the first things I said to my wife was like, God, what would you go back and tell yourself to not do this or to do that? Like, yes, I'm only 32, but like, what would you tell yourself when you're in high school? What would how would you change things? And are you still friends with those same friends that you were 20 years ago? Myself, no, I can honestly tell you I'm not still the same. I only one out of the multiple friends that I had at the time I'm still friends with at the same time. So it's one of those things that you go back and go, damn, what would you change? What would you do differently if you had the opportunity? And I love the simplistic of how they time travel. Like, as I said, it's not a DeLorean, it's not a Stargate, it's not some fancy device or you go into a machine. It's literally sneezing. And there's a great fight scene between the three main actors where they try and make themselves sneeze so they can go back and fight each other again because of what love can do. And all the actors bring it into this. Some great comedy moments between the actors and especially the final, how it all goes down. And it makes you want, like, I hope they don't make a sequel to this. It doesn't need a sequel. It wraps up perfectly from start to finish. But even at the end, you think about what's going to happen to these in the story. What's going to happen to them next? What are they going to do next? Now they've saved the future. They've saved the past. They've saved the present. They've saved the future. What are they going to do next? And it looks like they do a good course correction. But look, trust me when I say put this on your list. Go check this out. You will not be disappointed, especially if I'm rolling off the movies that you've already liked. Back to the Future, Everything Everyone's, Doctor Strange. This movie is for you, and I highly recommend this. And if you have seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was a mess? I had no gripes with it at all. Probably the weird thing is that, yeah, I said, it does go a little bit bonkers at sometimes where you can get a little bit drift off on what's happening, but you're pulled right back in. That's my only disagreement about the film. Everything else is tight, neat, and visually and vibrant stunning. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let's rant about it. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.